YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got another pickups video for you here. This all comes from the GTA Video Games, Toys, and Collectibles Expo. So I think I actually got the name right. This was an awesome show actually that I went to today, and I was actually a vendor at the show, so I did have a table set up. I was selling off all my doubles and things like that, and I got to run into a lot of really great guys there. I'd like to thank Chris and Nader, who were, I believe, the two organizers of it. I don't know if there were more, but these guys put on an excellent show today, and I really appreciate all the effort and stuff like that they put into it. A really great idea. A lot of good YouTubers showed up there as well, so I'll get down to doing my few shout outs and things like that to start with. So going down to the show, like a person who really helped me out right off the start before I even went down to the show is Bowser's FartSack. He actually made me aware of the show to begin with, and then not to mention that part, but just when I got a vendor table, I was asking him about how should I set things up, and what should I do about pricing, and what should I do about this, and what should I do about that, and he gave me a lot of really good advice. Some of the stuff I'm sure I would have figured out on my own, but he definitely, gave me a few heads up about things to remember to bring with me, and blah, 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 all this kind of good stuff. So, really awesome, really awesome. Thanks again, Bowser's FartSack, and I got lots more thank yous for the guy, because at the end of the show, he and I and Josh from GamehuntersRUs actually went out for a beverage at one spot, and then we kind of had to leave that place because it was a little loud. Because right when we started, we sort of sat down, a two-piece band or whatever came on, this guy and a girl, and they were really belting it out. We're like seated right by the stage, and as much as I like to party and things like that, I really wanted to talk to these guys in a little quieter setting than that. So we finished up our beverage kind of thing, and Bowser's FartSack covered that, and then when we got to where we're gonna eat, actually, Bowser's FartSack covered that again. He treated Josh and I to a delicious meal at Lick's restaurant, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a burger type of place, but they make delicious burgers. It's not like like a McDonald's or some garbage like that. This is like a seriously good burger joint. So he took us in there and gave us our dinner for free kind of thing. So he had a really good day, I guess, and he wanted to show his thank yous or whatever, or I don't know what exactly. He just felt in the gift of giving mood kind of thing. So thanks again, Bowser's FartSack, for that. It's delicious. I'm still satiated from that, so thanks again, man. Moving back to things though, I did do a number of trades actually, but the first thing I'll show you is something back to Bowser's FartSack. Actually, he traded me nothing for this, so I got a little bag of a generic kind of Lego, I guess. I don't know what kind of Lego this is. It might be like Mega Blocks or something like that. Yeah, it's Mega Blocks. So that's pretty cool right there. I'll be able to put that into my Lego bin for my son for down the road, and he threw that in for free because I guess he didn't want to haul it back to his car. So thanks a lot for that, man. Giving me that at the end of the show. Also at the end of the show, Josh from GamehuntersRUs gave me something which I actually really needed, which was a manual for Tekken 3. I saw that sitting there in the stuff that he had for trade, and I just said, what do you want for it kind of thing, because I really need the manual, and he said I could have it for free. So I appreciate that, because mine didn't have a manual, so now it does, and that was definitely something that I was looking for. Moving on from there, speaking of Josh from GamehuntersRUs, near the end of the show as well, I said, what do you got kind of thing, like as far as trades go, because stuff I was looking at was double, so I was pretty much willing to trade anything for anything. He took one item from the stuff that I had, and I got this here from him, which is Spyro the Season of Ice, and I believe I already have Season of Fire, so I'm hoping this is not a double, but I figured I definitely had a double of the thing that I had on the table that he got, and you'll have to check out his video to see what he, he got from that or whatever, but I got this out of it, so thanks again, Josh. That was really awesome. Moving on though, I'll get into the things I actually did trades with, like for vendors and things like that at the show. So the first things I'll show you here came from one of the partial organizers of it. Now Chris was one person that had organized it, and I spoke to him on numerous occasions there as well, which is really great. But also the other organizer, and I want to make sure I get the name right, but I don't even know if I can. His name was Nader. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He wasn't actually formally introduced. I kind of caught his name a little later on, so if I'm not saying that right, it was somebody else's fault, because I was overhearing it and I never was formally introduced to you. But we did a couple of trades. He came by my table, and I was mentioning to somebody that I was interested in trades. He was pulling out a number of stuff. I think he might have actually bought some stuff off of me too as well. I'm trying to remember. It's all very, a lot of things are happening at once. A lot of people buying things at the very start, and so this was near the start of the show, and I went over to his table, and it took me a while actually, because every time I go over to his table, somebody would come to my table to look at stuff, so I'd have to kind of go back and forth, and I couldn't really get my mind wrapped around what I wanted. But he had a stack of different things that he pulled from my table, so I went back over to his table during the course of the show and picked out a number of items. One of the items is something I didn't have in my collection, and it's Conflict for the NES. I don't know a thing about this title. It's probably nothing super fancy or anything like that, but I didn't have it in my collection, so I thought I would pick it out. Now, something I intentionally wanted to get my hands on, though, because I'd heard good things about it, was this year Batman Return of the Joker. So that's another thing I got with the trade that we got, that we had going on, rather. And then, let's see here, this one also came from him as well, or his table as well, because he is actually he has a store actually, so that's another story anyways. But this is Bubble Bobble featuring Rainbow Islands, which is really cool. The disc, I hope it plays. If not, I'm sure next time I see him, we can, figure something out around that. But that one's that one there. So if you see the price tags on them, I didn't really pay that because I don't have a way of really gauging what I paid, because it was all trade items. So still, nonetheless, still pretty cool. The next one is Grand Stream Saga. Never heard really anything about this. Looks like an RPG for the PS1. Don't know a whole lot about it, but looks pretty interesting, so I'm totally willing to check it out. If you know anything about this one, you let me know. Still pretty cool. And then finally, from that particular session of things, because I actually did 2 trades with them, I did a trade at the end of the show as well, but I'll show this because this is what I got during it. The case is really beat up, but I'll be able to fix that up, like with a new case obviously. And it's Cool Delca, I think that's the way you say it. If I don't know, you guys can kind of help me out with that, but that's the way I pronounce it anyways. Again, looks like a RPG. It's a gothic horror RPG, so it might be kind of cool. I don't know a whole lot about it. You guys can tell me if it's any good, but I thought I'd take a chance on it. And honestly, to add a PS1 title to my collection versus having a whole bunch of doubles suits me just perfectly fine. So that was that. And then later on in the show, I did actually get a chance to make rounds and go around, because basically business had died down, if you want to call it business. There weren't a lot of people left looking to buy things, basically. So I did like a once around kind of thing, and I ran into this at one of the vendors' tables, and I said, hey, come on over to my table, and I'm interested in this item, so you can pick out things from my table if you want, and we'll do like a swap kind of thing. So they picked out a few items from mine, and this is what I got in return. Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance box and complete, which is really awesome, because if you've been watching my videos or paying attention or have memorized all the things that I've ever picked up, you'll know that I picked up the second one of the Golden Sun games for the Game Boy Advance just in a previous video as well. And so I had this back in the day actually, and I gave this to a friend of mine intentionally, with no intention of ever getting it back. So I've never asked for it back. I don't even know if he probably still has it. It's probably long since gone or been garage sales since then, but still cool nonetheless. And I traded a few items for that as well, so that's pretty awesome right there, because I really wanted to get that. I'm not going to get into it inside, those take too long, but it's all complete and everything, map and everything's in there, so super wicked. Box isn't in perfect shape, it's a little crushed on one side here, but not too bad really at the end of it, because I was just looking for the game. But I did get the second one, and I want to play this one first, so that's awesome. At the end of the show, I also made like another deal, basically. Not the world's greatest deal, mind you, but from my perspective, it's a good deal because I was getting rid of a whole bunch of doubles, stuff I didn't have to drag back to the car, stuff I didn't really pay a whole ton for, which is why I picked up this in return for the things that I turned in. So basically, when I priced everything out, I had probably about $190 worth of stuff like that I had priced out with my pricing, and the vendor wanted $200 for this, which is what I got, and it's Lufia, the Fortress of Doom. Now, it's definitely not a $200 game, I don't think. It's boxed and complete. I don't really want to get into it, but I'll tell you the condition of it because I don't really want to spend the time opening this right now. But the cartridge inside has some gunk and stuff on it, but the label's perfectly fine, so it'll clean up beautifully, I'm sure. And I really don't have a whole bunch of Super Nintendo RPGs. I keep saying that, but I keep adding more in. But still cool nonetheless. So there's Lufia for the Super Nintendo. Like I was saying though, I was kind of getting into it before. I took over, or he took from my table probably close to a couple $100 worth of stuff based on my pricing. This he had a couple $100 price tag on it, but honestly from my perspective, those things were doubles too. I didn't pay close to a couple $100 for those items, so when it came down to it at the end of the day, I basically, if you wanted to do like a cash value kind of look at it, I probably paid about $80 for this with all the stuff that I traded into that to him. So that's pretty cool for me for $80 to get that, and not to mention it lightens the load and the stuff that I have to carry back to the car and you know, keep in storage, because I basically have had a lot of that stuff for a very long time. You know, some of it even more than a year kind of thing. And I'm just happy to get rid of some of it because it has not sold locally and nobody's wanted it in trades and things like that. And in return, I got something that I do want for my collection, something I did not have a double of. So that's awesome right there. That also came from Nader though as well. So that's everything that I got at the show. It was a really awesome time. Ran into a bunch of people that I know either are subscribed to my channel, I have seen them out in the wild kind of thing. You know, like in thrift shops and things like that, so I saw a few of those guys. Ran into Dragon Dude, I'm trying to remember all the numbers up, it's like 20 something something something. I'll put a link down below anyways to his channel. I'll put a link down below obviously again to Bowser's FartSack channel, because he's awesome as well, and if you have a chance to do a deal with him, definitely do it because he is a stand-up guy for sure. And also Josh from GamehuntersRUs also was there as well, and really awesome guy. I love chatting with him, he's super amazing. So if you can go check out all their channels and stuff like that, definitely do that. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all later.